What's cooking, folks? Vermillion Phoenix here, and today, for Free-to-Play Friday, we're talking about Blacklight Retribution. Blacklight Retribution is a free-to-play first-person shooter developed by Zombie Studios for Perfect World Entertainment. It's based on the sequel, or it is the sequel, or successor would be a better way to talk about it, for Blacklight Tango Down. Tango Down was released on the Xbox Live Arcade and was a purely downloadable title, and it featured pretty much the same pros and cons that you actually have in Blacklight Retribution. So there's a ton of customization, like way too much. There's enough gun customization in this game that it could probably rival what you find in Borderlands, minus the legendary shenanigans. But other than that, like, almost every gun has a wide variety of variations, some of them relatively minor, which allow the weapons to handle very differently. So if you do play the game or you decide to get into it, while you'll start with the standard weapons through the acquisition of the GP or game points, you will be able to purchase permanent modules or parts to the weapons that will allow you to customize it and tailor fit it to the way that you like to play. Now, the recently added social features, which actually change the way that you create your weapons and share them. You can actually generate a code which is shareable online. You can import it via the game's interface, and it will give you a layout for a particular setup of weapons, which is amazing. The sheer ease with which your layouts are able to be tested is great now, and it'll give whoever you share it with the opportunity to purchase all of the parts necessary for the layout if they want to use it in-game by just entering the code. So that is an amazing quality of life feature, and it's relatively new. It just came out in the last couple of months, I believe. So kudos to Perfect World for actually keeping up the development on this game. Besides that, the game is heavily skewed towards PvP combat, and I showed you the PvE first mainly so that the contrast is like quite visible. Like, there's really not more going on here than like really basic run and gun, and since almost everything that you interact with is pre-selected, like there's no like environmental changes or anything that happens in the PvE, so that kind of limits how, I guess, gamey everything feels, other than the fact that you have the weapons that you select. So here are some of the customization options, and like I said, there are a lot. These are just some of the muzzles available for the assault rifle, and I believe there's going to be, well, there's a good mix here. There's both suppressors and flash breaks, which will reduce the recoil. The suppressors actually prevent like any visible flash from coming out of the gun in the game. And there you go. These are the barrels. The barrels actually determine the damage and the effective range of your weapons, as well as having a heavy impact on the weight. Then the last part, or one of the other like major components, is going to be the stock, which determines the strength of the recoil. Heavier stocks basically reduce the recoil, and how well the gun behaves while it's fired, both when you're aiming down the sights and from the hip. Then there's, of course, scopes, and the scopes will determine the range that the zoom is, not necessarily the accuracy of the weapon, because that's all determined by the other parts, but you try to line up a scope with what actually works well for you. And that little visor change right there is a recurring theme from the Blacklight games. It is the hyper reality visor, and it sort of gives you a look at all of the key strategic points in the map. You'll be able to see weapons depots, objectives, any active enemies, and also other items that you can interact with, such as inactive hard suits and things of that sort. So if you need information or you just want to be able to see what's going on, the HRV is a good thing to use. Mind you, you are completely unable to interact with anything else while the HRV is on. So that is the reason you sort of see me toggling it quite quickly, and that's so that you don't get caught with your pants down, which very likely would have happened if I had it up there. Due to the fact that you can toggle it quickly, you'll see people do that often while they're playing the game, so that's maybe something that you want to get used to if you decide to pick it up as well. Now, Blacklight's kill cam is basically what you see there. It'll actually zoom over to the person that killed you so you can kind of see where they are. This game was very post Call of Duty, so you'll see a lot of the ideas like kill cams and such being implemented here to sort of prevent camping. The HRV is another tool to help you know sort of where stationary players are, and being stationary in this game isn't always that great. Although bolt action rifles, the go-to sniper of the game, are pretty powerful. Besides just the gun customization, there is going to be a lot of other things that are available to you. You can customize the equipment that your player carries, and that's going to include everything from your explosives to your melee weapons and different types of protection from elemental damages that are present in the game. So there's a lot of things that you can change about how you play, what tools you bring to the fight, and how your character behaves. So if you guys enjoy shooters with a high variety of customization, you like playing around with a lot of different weapons and experimenting, this is definitely going to be the game to you. Just due to the free-to-play aspects, be aware that you will have to sort of buckle down and put time into the game. Either that or throw money at the wall until you find builds to stick, because there are a lot of parts, like I said, and if you intend on acquiring everything in the game, which in the couple of years that I've played it off and on, I still haven't acquired nearly half the items, you will have a good amount of time playing this. Either way, hope you guys enjoy it. Feel free to take a look at Blacklight as well as any of the other games that Perfect World has. Feel free to take a look at the Free-to-Play Friday playlist. It doesn't have too much up there right now, as this is something that I recently started. However, I hope to grow it, and I hope to have some decent quality content to show you guys. So if you enjoyed this, let me know. Feel free to like, subscribe, or comment, and let me know what your experience is with Blacklight, if you've actually taken a look at it in the past or you played it recently. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy, and as always, have a good one.